Retail brands have the freedom to go woke. We have the freedom to create an alternative. Unite us.
But what happened next? No one expected. Sports went woke. See that guy standing while everyone else is kneeling? That's Jonathan Isaac. He plays for the Orlando Magic in the NBA. He also happened to be one of the few NBA players who publicly expressed discomfort with supporting the Black Lives Matter movement. This all came to a head when the players on his team decided to collectively kneel during the national anthem. So he did what he felt was right. He stood. Now, Jonathan is launching his own apparel company.
I love this. This is literally, okay. Everything about this is like, it's so lib-coded. You know what I mean? When I told you, like, everyone ultimately at the end of the day is a fucking liberal, this is what I mean. Like, this could straight up be done by Vox.com. You know what I mean? It's the same messaging, it's the same language, it's the same editing, and the ultimate goal is the same as well. It's basically to provide an alternative brand, okay, made in the same fucking factories, probably even cheaper products, that is supposedly not woke.
Jonathan is launching his own apparel company called Unite Us, in hopes of bringing people together over love of God and country.
Unite Us is a sports and apparel company, and the basis of it for me is freedom. You have companies that are in that field who have made a...
My least favorite type of NBA players are these motherfuckers, bro. Like NS Contada and shit. You know what I mean? I don't know how good this guy is, but like immediately I suspect that they're not that good. If they're doing this, they're trash. You know what I mean? So trash you couldn't even do the dignified thing and go to China. You know what I mean? That's when you know. Go do the right thing. If you're decent enough, play in the EuroLeague. If you're even worse, you know, or again, just go play in China, okay? Learn Mandarin, motherfucker. I don't want to hear this bullshit. I don't want to hear this like fucking woke nonsense, okay? I'm sorry. It's always like the shittiest guys that do it too. People always say like, oh, LeBron, his like political activism is bullshit. He should shut up and dribble. It's like, motherfucker, he does dribble. The only reason why you care about it is because it's LeBron, okay? Like, he's still fucking balling. Same with Kyrie, okay? Same with fucking Kyrie. Kyrie is a great example of this. He's still balling, okay? He's still fucking balling.
You have companies that are in that field who have made a conscious decision to either attack or undermine Christian values, you know, conservative values and things like that. And I think that they have the free choice to do so. We can be proud of what we believe in. You know, we don't have to hide or be ashamed of it. As the day continues to get, you know, darker and darker and crazier, you standing up for what you believe in is only going to get harder, but is only going to become more and more necessary.
We'll find a way to end wokeism once and for all. So much of the talk around woke seems to be just that, talk. At the end of the day, nothing will change if those of us who...
I love the conservative movement doing consumer activism and like spending a lot of time, energy, and initiatives on consumer activism.
To understand what can be done about it, we need to understand the world in which it originated.
It's so funny. They're literally like, what can be done about woke commodities? That's right. You have to just buy our shit instead. Ooh, it happens to be the exact same shit, except with a markup. It's called a stupid tax. That's what people are calling it. From the people that brought you pink tax, we've decided we are going to do an idiot tax. If you want to buy the exact same shit, it's even worse quality for a higher markup, come and purchase it from us instead. The middlemen. Awesome.
My first stop was to talk to the man who literally wrote the book on woke. Here we are in Columbus, Ohio.
Big L.
The first questions, what is wokeism? And where did it come from? Hi, Vivek.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Meet Vivek Ramaswamy. He recently founded Strive Asset Management, an investment management firm that's challenging industry titans like BlackRock and Vanguard. He's doing it the old-fashioned way, focusing his investment decisions on excellence.
They're like, we hate BlackRock and Vanguard, so we chose to make our own BlackRock, but this time racist.
But before Strive, he founded a multi-billion-dollar biotech company called Roivant Sciences. They were literally working to cure cancer. Until, at the height of Black Lives Matter, his board and employees demanded Vivek speak out in full support of the organization and the movement.
Wait, are you telling me that this dude was on the cusp of curing cancer, and then his employees were like, hey, Black Lives Matter, and he was like, no, fuck that, we're done. Like, what kind of argument is this? Let's say it's real for a brief moment. Let's just suspend our disbelief and think that this is a real story that happened. Why would that actually make the dude that you're presenting look any better? Like, he's just like, yeah, man, it's actually the Black Lives Matter protest that stopped me from curing cancer because I got pissed off that they were advocating for the black employees. Like, okay, that's the worst thing I've ever heard. You're a horrible person. Get back to work and fucking cure cancer right now.
With a clear conscience.
But I stepped down as
So
CEO.
he
Oh my God, he stepped down. Like, it wasn't even like, we're going to do a struggle session here and it got in the way of cancer research or whatever. He just straight up was like, what? Black Lives Matter? They don't matter. I'm stepping down. Fuck cancer.
left the company that he created. Because of this experience, Vivek wrote a book you might have heard of called Unwoke INC.
Yeah, dude, this kind of stuff always comes out later down the line. Like, I don't know what the fuck this dude's deal is, but I wouldn't be shocked if it was like he was sexually harassing the fucking, college freshman interns that they had or some shit. And then he fucking stepped down for that reason. But then he was like, oh, it's because everyone's so woke. Why do you think this makes you look good? That's another question I have. I don't get it.
He wrote a book
Yes, I know. This is Squeaks running for
called
president.
Unwoke INC. I think a lot of people are going to hear that and go, what's woke? So, Vivek, what's woke?
Yeah, wokeness refers to being alert to invisible injustices perpetuated against disempowered classes of
Oh, God, I'm so mad. Oh, no. What?
generally defined on genetically inherited characteristics like race, gender, and sexual orientation. Basically, it borrows from the tropes of Marxism, which was this oppressor-oppressed narrative. But wokeism was not just Marxism, it was the merger of Marxism with identity politics. The idea that you are nothing more and nothing less than the genetic stock that you inherit on the day you're born. This was a fringe philosophy. I mean, this was a theory from the halls of academia, and it was a challenge to the system. It was an interesting set of ideas. Does it mean it was all coherent? No, not necessarily. But it was interesting, it was provocative, it was a different way of looking at human relations. But wokeness at some point moved from being about being a challenge to the system to becoming
Oh,
the
he's like
system.
one of those. He's like one of those guys. He's one of those guys who's like, oh, wokeness was fine, when it was like the civil rights movement. But now it's not fine because somehow it got out of control.
So to really understand the origin story of wokeism, you have to understand academia first. That's where it was born. It was born as an infant there. Became
Frankfurt
an
School.
adolescent somewhere else, but let's start with the infancy.
Frankfurt
That's where it
School.
began.
Say the Jews did it.
At the end of the day, the rise of wokeism wasn't an overnight phenomenon. It's actually been in the works for years. So like many bad ideas, wokeism started in academia. But why? And why didn't
Why are they not saying it's the Frankfurt School? We know that's what you want to say. Just say it, man.
it stay in the ivory tower? How did this cancer infect every other area of society? I needed to talk to somebody who understood academia and from a long-term, multifaceted perspective. And so I traveled to Washington, D.C.
I love that, like, conservative commentary now straight up is just like, if you're educated, you're learning to be a homosexual Marxist and it's bad. Please stop getting educated. Do not read. Stop reading. Stop going to school. It's bad for you. I promise it's not good. It's no good.
to talk to a visionary who did something many people consider to be impossible. He founded a new college that now rivals the Ivy League. This is Michael Ferris. He started
Wait,
Patrick
what?
Henry College, a classical liberal arts college just outside of Washington, D.C. In only 20 years of the college's existence, Patrick Henry graduates have become leaders in the highest halls of power, including Congress, Hollywood, and the White House. And this sort of cultural impact was by design. Ferris has been fighting wokeism before it was even called.
This motherfucker literally went and made a liberal arts university, but like even more filled to the brim with like fucking nepotist fail children.
Called wokeism. And more importantly, he's been winning.
And I dare anyone to read my legal analysis.
Through Patrick Henry College,
Dude, oh God, look at this
Before it was even
Vox.com ass fucking editing there. Look at this.
and more importantly,
They put a thug hat and the thug life glasses on
he's
him.
been
Look.
winning.
And I dare anyone to read my legal analysis.
Oh, dude, it's thug life, bro. This 76-year-old pervert is winning. He's thug life, dude. He fucking built a WASP academy. This dude is like the first case of an adult that needs to be stuffed into a fucking locker, okay?
Through Patrick Henry College, Mike is taking the battle against woke to the source by educating new generations of students in a rigorous, truth-focused education. Where do you think wokeness started? What's your theory there?
Where I was seeing it mostly was in the schools of education. They were...
At least Patrick Henry College is like doing one good thing, which is that like if you have these fucking millionaire, billionaire, WASP fail sons, at least taking them out of other colleges so they can only do date rape to other billionaire, millionaire failed daughters is like, in some respects, you know, from a utilitarian perspective, of course, a little bit better. You know what I mean? Like taking these guys and putting them in a pen with one another is ultimately getting them away from the broader society.
Teaching there is no truth, but what they meant is we're going to undermine the objective truth that you believe in and pretend that all truth is relative. And we're going to follow that up eventually with our truth. And that idea is now we're going to jam our truth down your throat and you better kneel. You raise a generation that's told at the university that nobody can disagree with you. You take that attitude to campus, you think that's the way the whole world should be like, and that's what you believe. That's the way you were trained. And you will not be a friend of truth. You will not be a friend of freedom. You're going to be a friend of repressing anybody who doesn't follow the party line. The tyranny that's in place today believes that the heart, soul, and mind of man belongs to government. And that mantra has been taken up by big corporations and social media giants and so on. And that totalitarian impulse is the opposite of liberty or progressivism or anything, any of the traditional meanings of those terms. Our country was a liberal democracy. We're fast becoming a totalitarian, bureaucratically run country, not a democracy, not a republic.
No, definitely. Except for like when the photos that you were pointing to, that's the funniest part. Like when you were pointing to photos of like when we were a democracy, a real democracy with like George Washington and shit, like dog, that was when America was infinitely less a democracy. Okay. Those guys were slave owners, man. That's crazy. That's crazy that you're looking at that and going, look how democratic it was back then when the country was run as it's intended by white male slave owners. What the fuck?
So you teach a generation that truth is subjective and ever evolving. You brainwash them to accept no alternative viewpoints. It's the woke way or no way. And then you release them into every industry of our society.
Every motherfucker that acts like truth is objective buckles just absolutely folds the moment that you start investigating deeper into what they believe and why they believe it. The moment that you like arrive at the conclusion that like, oh, it's because the Bible said so, you go, okay, that's your personal interpretation, and you understand how fucking subjective their truth is. You know what I mean? It's the Jordan Peterson conundrum. Jordan Peterson does this shit all the time. He loves, back when he was like at least LARPing as a liberal, he loved trying to use the Bible as the objective truth while simultaneously saying it's just simply a understanding of the symbolism within the Bible. Like understand, like our universe is dictated by the same principles that keep reinforcing itself in our art and in our culture and in, you know, religious dogma as well.
Perhaps the most pernicious infiltration? The indoctrination tool for the masses. Entertainment.
Oh man.
For years, everyday Americans have complained about woke Hollywood.
Yeah, totally. That's what Americans are always complaining about.
But we're not here to complain. We want to create alternatives. So I decided to talk to a man who is doing just that, creating an alternative to Hollywood and multiple other industries.
That is not. Oh my God.
Wait, that's not the man we're talking.
This will never not be funny. You know how we make fun of people on TikTok for having fake podcasts? Brett Cooper has a fake Twitch stream where she acts like she is doing a Twitch stream when she's not. They just shoot it in a fucking studio. It is mind-boggling to me that people just think like, oh no, this is great.
Meet Jeremy Boring. Jeremy is the co-founder of a media and entertainment company called The Daily Wire. They push buttons, they tell the truth, and they're working every day to create both news and entertainment that is free from liberal bias.
In many ways, big media has become just a propaganda arm of the left. And Daily Wire
Media's always been a propaganda arm. The left, not so much.
wanted to correct that.
Welcome back to the comments.
We produce written articles, news articles. We produce podcasts. We're the 5th largest podcast publisher in the world. But beyond the Daily Wire, we've expanded into something we're calling Daily Wire Plus. and it's really a broader cultural.
Yeah. It's a cultural revolution, folks. Like when we hired Gina Carano and then put her in a movie and then filmed that movie, and then that movie got an opening weekend to 800 people watching it. That was the biggest cultural revolution. Man, if I took a shit and fucking uploaded to my Instagram, that'd be a bigger cultural revolution by your metrics of success, okay?
Hollywood going woke was pretty easy to see coming. But what happened next, no one expected. Sports went woke. But it didn't end in sports. We all know the story. It felt like the flip of a switch, like every company in America was suddenly spouting the woke orthodoxy, and anyone who disagreed with them was ousted, condemned, and silenced. A perfect example?
Dude, I wish, man. Where? Like, I wish we could silence some of you motherfuckers, man. You never shut the fuck up.
Amanda Ensing.
Who's Amanda
People love
Ensing?
to
Who the fuck
complain
is
about
this?
the culture and the environment, but they don't do anything. We need to be creating our own verticals and our.
It's so funny. It's like every time they do like an alternative, it literally is like a shittier version of something that exists already. It's like, oh, do you want Ariana Grande, but like Ariana fucking Venti, dude? Here you go. Like, there you go. It's like, no one wants Ariana Venti. You want Ariana Grande. Like, shut the fuck up. It's so stupid. And the entire point is this, okay? The entire point is this. If these people could make it on the virtue of like their content working in and of itself, they wouldn't have to fucking literally go and do this dumb shit. Their vector wouldn't be politics, right-wing politics specifically, but politics in general, okay? Myself included. If I could be a fucking funny man and rest on the laurels of my humor, I wouldn't be talking about this politics shit, okay? I unfortunately am brain dead enough to love politics a little too much, but anyway, where the fuck were we?
This is Amanda Ensing. She's an entrepreneur, a beauty influencer, and a general badass boss lady. She started out beauty influencing with sponsorships from Sephora and other huge makeup brands. But when armchair critics started criticizing Amanda for stating her personal political beliefs, Sephora immediately canceled her.
Cutting ties with pro-Trump beauty influencer Amanda Ensing? Yeah, man, it's Sephora. Yeah, they're making a business decision. Hey, guess what? You want to know why no one fucking heard about this Sephora boycott? Because conservatives were already boycotting Sephora by not being like gay men or girls who go to Sephora, okay? If the Barbs boycotted Sephora, now that's when you got a labor action, okay? That's when you got momentum. What fucking like Trump supporter is going to Sephora and be like, yeah, I can't wait to get me some of them cat eyes, you know what I'm saying? I love me some of them.
Her sponsorships, and went so far as to publicly condemn Amanda.
So for me, I was like, you know what? The beauty industry is in shambles. It only caters to one party, one set of views. Let's create my own brand. Our first launch sold out within like a day or two. I couldn't believe it.
They shouldn't. Those shades are way too dark for your fan base, lady. Okay, her skincare goes up to like her concealer goes up to only like white and palest white.
I was just like, what? And just seeing how much women wanted this, I was like, wow. And I was scared. You know, it's terrifying putting your story out there, and when you get canceled, and with all of these people now coming for me, it's scary at first to take that first leap, but once you do, you just don't stop.
Every single one of the people we interviewed is a perfect example of not just what fighting back looks like, but what winning looks like.
Yeah, they're literally just like, they're just straight up like, oh man, all of these institutions are liberal. Let's make competitive ones by just saying that these are not woke. That's it.
Well, I'll give you one of the insights from my investing days. It's a famous quote from Warren Buffett. Be brave where others are fearful.
Okay, so first of all, Warren Buffett woke. Secondly, if this guy is like investing in companies purely on the fundamentals and not like what their corporate brand's strategy is, which by the way, I laugh at any fucking donkey-brained idiot who thinks that like BlackRock Capital is actually focusing on how woke a company is and not what their returns are, okay? But like, if he's only looking at the fundamentals, then wouldn't he be straight up only investing in established brands? He's talking about Warren Buffett, for example. Like, that's Mr. Coca-Cola. That's Mr. Safety. Warren Buffett's entire fucking portfolio resembles like it's the Fortune 500, you know what I mean? So doesn't that mean you're going to be doing the same thing? So you're just trying to be So you're just trying to be fucking BlackRock. Because I'm willing to bet this motherfucker is not investing in like the anti-woke Sephora or whatever the fuck if he's only caring about the fundamentals.
There's an economic opportunity. I think it might be one of the biggest economic opportunities of the next decade to serve the 100 million plus Americans from the places where they work, where they shop, where they bank, where they invest. These are also.
I just don't think anyone cares. Like, I don't think liberals have ever been like, oh man, I'm so glad Bank of America loves homosexuals. You know what I mean? Like, that's the difference. These guys are literally like, oh dude, we have a banking system, but like if you're gay, we call you the F word. You know what I mean? Oh, sick. That's definitely where I want to go. Like, it's just so stupid. They looked at like vague, ambiguous mentions of like certain marginalized identities with no real solutions whatsoever and literally thought that's the reason why libtards shop there and conservatives will go and shop elsewhere for the same reason. No, man. It's convenience. And also, you know what's the most convenience thing? Being a fucking monopoly, okay? So you're not taking down Mondelez International because you decided to go to the same factory where they make the Oreos and be like, my Oreos, on the other hand, look identical, but like that are actually fucking racist, you know? It doesn't work that way.
From an economic standpoint, some of the best customers that any business could want. That is an economic opportunity. It might be the economic opportunity of our generation.
Academia is bad because it grooms children unless we are the ones who are doing the grooming, and then it's good. It's interesting to see PragerU also hit the same line, by the way. I like that. I mean, I wanted to take a look at this because like basically it's just the same bullshit. It's the same bullshit, but somehow even dumber because like they think it's not going to be like they think that the marketing, the pro-gay marketing matters. No, man, it's like 100 other types of marketing and complete corporate consolidation that matters when you look at these companies and how much money they make. You've completely misunderstood the point. You saw like the one fucking time when like they were doing a little bit of fucking woke marketing and you thought that was like the entire thing. You thought that was their whole agenda. That's the only reason why people buy Oreos, or that's the only reason why people go to Target. People go to Target because it has everything and it's close to their house, idiot. Not because it's pro-gay.